As crime rates skyrocket throughout the city, New York's elected officials are taking a stand. With the help of Bronx Borough President Vanessa L. Gibson, District Attorney Darcel Clarke, advocates for gun safety, and cure violence groups, Congressman Ritchie Torres announced new legislation to combat the distribution of unserialized and untraceable guns, better known as ghost guns.
There's been a 350% rise in the number of ghost guns. And ghost guns have come to represent 12% of all guns recovered here in New York City.
Recently, President Biden implemented a new rule in which firearm dealers and gunsmiths will be required to add serial numbers to 3D printed guns or other unserialized firearms. The first piece of legislation Congressman Torres plans to pass will turn this rule into law, thus ensuring that this regulation stays in place regardless of administration.
There is no substitute for congressional action, and there is no excuse for congressional inaction.
Executive orders are great, but it's not codified in law. And President Biden's actions are great, but that doesn't take us to where we need to be in the long term. Legislation can.
The second piece of legislation will support the families and those affected by ghost gun violence, in which they will be able to hold the ghost gun manufacturers accountable.
That's why I'm introducing legislation at the federal level that would empower victims or the families of victims, as well as state and local governments, empower them to bring legal action against ghost manufacturers.
The push to keep track of ghost guns comes after a devastating recent few weeks in the Bronx after several children and teenagers were killed, including a 16-year-old shot with a ghost gun by a 17-year-old. Parents like Linda Kemp, who have experienced the hurt and loss caused by gun violence, are outraged and are pleading for government officials to step up. The increase in ghost guns has gone from 2,000 to 20,000 in 1 year alone.
We shouldn't be in the wrong place because every place is the right place when you're living in the city. When you're living, it should be, I can go outside, I can sit in my car, I can take my kid to the store.
Not only are New York's elected officials working to put an end to gun violence, but they're working towards providing opportunities for the youth to keep them off the street and out of harm's way. With the warm weather just around the corner, elected officials want to make the Bronx a safe space for all to enjoy without worrying about a potential tragedy.
There are too many children out here that need our help for us to give up, for us to lose sight and get distracted. We cannot do that. Too many of our young people need us like never before.
Reporting for BronxNet, Brittany, Skyler, Aubain.